that roast. I watched it like 2 days ago, and I was just like, how much money do they pay this man to come on there and get battered and beaten and demolished for not like a 30-minute special or an hour special, hours with an S, capital S at the end. And I was like, dang, it must be like tens of millions of dollars, because I wouldn't take that. I mean, because even after a while, like the 28th like Giselle joke, I'm like, shit, this guy's going to lose it. He's going to like, he has that serial killer. There's one joke about him being a serial killer. I'm like, yeah, he'll kill you. Like, he kills people on the field. He will kill you. But it was hilarious.
That's Aaron Hernandez.
Oh,
that was another thing. I mean, there was nobody there to like defend Aaron Hernandez. I mean, there's nothing to defend of him. I mean, obviously, but I mean, why would you bring that up? And every comedian brought him up. Everybody,
kick off the stool, ring around his neck.
Yeah,
like it was brutal, brutal.
Brandon Lloyd, who he knew, he actually, his locker was right next to Aaron Hernandez. He knew Aaron Hernandez very, very well. I would love to hear what Brandon Lloyd thought of that whole special. He knows Tom, and he knew Aaron Hernandez. I thought that was hitting below the deck. And even Tom actually brought up the Aaron Hernandez thing. I was shocked that everybody used that in their jokes. I didn't think that was funny. I just, everything that he did and all that, Bill Belichick didn't bring that in his jokes. I know he was a little bit, he wanted to stay away from that. That was not funny, but that's just me. I didn't think that was funny. But Ovie, why don't we get into it? Because you were a Falcon, and there was a lot of questions on their first pick at number 8. And that was bringing in Michael Penix Jr. when they made a move. They brought in a guy like, Cousins, Kirk Cousins, who they gave a guaranteed $100 million to, and they signed him a 4-year deal. It didn't make any sense. Nothing made sense in that move. Why did you, and I know Speedy told me that you thought they were going that way. What made you think they were going that way, and why did they go that way?
I was talking to a buddy about that today, and I called it the Monday before the draft, and I think that it made perfect sense. If you're trying to hedge your bets, and if you're trying to make sure that you don't royally F this opportunity up, you're like, let me think about this. If what happened to the Jets happens to us, and our big-time quarterback, our Aaron Hernandez, goes down, are we going to be right back where we were with Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Heineke, and having enough, more than enough, to win games, even get to the playoffs, but missing that one piece of quarterback? Are we going to put ourselves in situations where we're one play away, one position away from winning, but we don't want to double up, because that's crazy? Why would you have 2 great quarterbacks when that's the most important position in the NFL? That's the position that we needed so bad. That's the only position that kept us from going to the playoffs year after year. Why would we get 2 quarterbacks? It says not the Falcons. It's Terry Falcon. So it's like, I'm going to get the best available player. And if that happens to be a quarterback that we had as one of the best 2 quarterbacks in the league, I'm picking him, because Kirk Cousins is old. Kirk Cousins has an Achilles. Kirk Cousins also is a human being and an NFL player that bleeds blood and can be broken. And there are a lot of people who want to break him. And I just don't see how a defensive end is going to have the same impact that if Kirk Cousins went down, Michael Penix would have. So I called, they're going to get a quarterback. They're going to get Penix. He's absolutely amazing. He's somehow weirdly flying under the radar with all this quarterback talk. And he's somebody who would fit well right here in Atlanta with the Falcons. I'm like, they're going to pick Penix. Terry Fontenot is not going to roll that dice and say, you know what? I want a defensive end. I want to get somebody to get after the quarterback and miss out on a game-changing, franchise-like talent. And he did what I thought he would. He picked Penix. But the funny thing was that I got a chance to meet Kirk on the draft day. We were at the Falcons Mercedes-Benz party, and I saw him, and obviously he doesn't watch our podcast. He doesn't know. And he's like, good to see you, man. And we're talking, and we're connected, and we're shaking hands and stuff. And we crossed over a little bit, and I'm like, man, Minnesota's cold as heck. How'd you live there? We're just small talk. And then we go up on stage for the Falcons fans. This is the big event at the stadium. and they interviewed me and John Abraham. We were the two former players there, a bunch of current players, shaking hands, kissing babies. And they're like, Ovie, you're a former Falcon, first Pro Bowl fullback in the Falcons franchise, and one of our Falcons legends. Tell us, what do you think the Falcons need to do in order to get to the next level? Who should we draft? And I'm thinking in my head, we should draft Penix, but Kirk's like right there. I'm like, we should get Kirk some weapons. I'm like, we should get Kirk Cousins some weapons, not draft his replacement. And they're like, yeah, we should do that. Get a receiver or a defensive end or somebody. But yeah, then they chose Penix, and it was interesting because everyone's like, oh, Kirk is pissed. I don't think he's happy about it, but he's a professional, and he's somebody who understands that in this football world, they're always drafting your replacement. They're always trying to hedge their bets. And with his $100 million guaranteed, I don't think anyone should be crying for him. Now, his team, his PR team, his marketing, his agent, his whole crew, they're pissed. They're probably the ones pushing out all the, oh, Kirk's not happy and Kirk's upset, because they were looking forward to having the whole Atlanta fan base to be theirs, and to quietly and carefully and, introduce themselves, be, waving at events, going to Boys and Girls Club cheer dinners, the quarterback for the Falcons. Now people are like, oh, which one? Penix or Kirk? Oh, the quarterback of the Falcons is here. And so now it's two quarterbacks that are introducing themselves and that are, endearing themselves to the players and to the fans and to the city. And that's not great for his team. Football-wise, it's one quarterback. It's not even close. It's not if he throws an interception, they're going to start chanting Penix. Oh, if he has a bad game or two or three, Penix might come. That's not going to happen. That's not ever going to happen. It's going to be the Kirk Cousins show for a solid year straight. Now, if he just bombs every game this year, they're going to go down swinging with Kirk and maybe think about it next year. But there's no way that he's on a short, medium, or any leash whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the process of Kirk Cousins, because the rumors that were coming out, like when they drafted Penix, they told him last second. They didn't really do it in the pre-draft process like you would have expected that. Do you as a player, as a former player, like if that happened to you, how would you feel? And what do you think is the process like for the Falcons in terms of the relationship with those two?
I just refuse to believe that, they had to or would have Kirk Cousins as part of their war room strategy. Yeah, of course they told him last second, because they weren't even sure Penix was going to be there. Why on earth, if you weren't going to draft Penix, would you say, hey, Kirk, we're thinking about drafting somebody, and, he is planning to be your replacement in a year or two or three or now? They wouldn't say that. They wouldn't do that. So it's more of they're doing what's best for the Falcons. The Falcons are trying to set themselves up to win now and in the future. And if they decided at the last second that they were going to draft Penix because he was available, they would. I mean, it's nice they even called Kirk to tell him, because they didn't have to do that. It's these diva quarterbacks, and none of my feelings are hurt. You need to tell me. I want control. Get the heck out of here, man. It's stupid. Maybe it's just because I'm a blue collar fullback, and I'm like, play the game, do your job, go out there, contribute, get paid very well to do so, and keep it pushing. Like, it's just, the Russell Wilson diva quarterback era, allegedly, of what he did or used to do or wants to do. It's just, it's silly to me. So I don't think they owed him anything, and he's going to be a big boy and go to work and earn that contract and play football. That's all you need to do. Competition is always there.